Hey everybody, this is going to be kind of a training and informational video for the Squarespace CMS. We're going to be looking at structured data, also known as schema, and more specifically, if you've come across this on search, you're going to have found that it's titled adding breadcrumb structured data to Squarespace websites, and that's the particular form that we're going, or the particular type of schema that we're going to look at today. I'm assuming if you found this and you're searching for breadcrumbs, you have a general understanding of what they are, but I'm going to go through it really quickly. There are two types of breadcrumbs. There's the kind that are used for user experience on the website, and these are very common in like e-commerce stores, and it's literally a breadcrumb of how you got from one page to another. So here with the Google page, you can see the path: the home, products, search for developers, reference, and that's helps the user understand how they got there. So as you dig in deeper, it just gives you a reference to go back to, usually the bigger category or topic or whatever you're looking at there. And this is important because this can be different than how you silo things on your website. And by siloing, I would mean like the URL structure up here. So we can see this does not exactly match the breadcrumb list, or the breadcrumbs on the page that Google has here. So these are different. So while this is a user experience thing, we also want search engines to know the hierarchy of our website, how you get from one page to another, so they better understand the relationship between the bottom page, the sub page, everything like that. And the way we do that is called structured data or schema. And in this instance, it's going to be called breadcrumb schema. And I'm just going to scroll down here and just kind of show you an example of what breadcrumb schema would look like. So here it is. This is a JSON LD. It's a JavaScript language, and this is the preferred version for Google has came out and said this is the preferred version of schema that they like to see used on websites. Many years ago, there was microdata. That's somewhat being retired. It still works, but you'll see that on a lot of older websites. But this is basically what we're going to be adding, and let's jump into it. And just for reference here, I'm going to be using this website, paradiseorientalrugs.com. I've been working with them for several years. It's a site that I update from time to time, few things here and there. It's not a big site, doesn't get a ton of traffic, but it is niche, and SEO does provide value to the client. So we're going to go through and add some breadcrumb schema to a relatively new article that was written. So I'm going to go over to Squarespace, and you're going to want to go in your settings. And one of the important things here with regards to schema is every single type of schema, you want to add it on a page level basis. And I see this error all the time with organization schema being added globally to a header. I've seen actual like CMSs do it. Squarespace sadly does this with some local business schema, but again, it's going to be on a page basis. So we're going to go into the page, and I'm going to look for this article about Qashqai rugs. If you're not a rug enthusiast or you're not Persian, you probably have no clue what this is. But I found the article here, and you're going to want to go into the widget here. So I'm just going to click on the article actually first, so I just bring it up and know it's correct. But I'm getting an error, not good. See if I can refresh this real quick. I apologize. So there's going to be a little widget. Okay, we're up. So there's going to be a little gear icon for the page that we're going to want to click on, and that's going to get us to some of the advanced settings here. So here's basically your whole SEO panel. Once you get in there through that gear icon, it'll give you the opportunity to add your metadata, the general, your URL slugs, your open graph data for social imaging and all that kind of stuff, media. But here's the advanced part. This is what we're going to look at, because this is where we're going to add our schema. And you can see I've already added some here for videos and FAQ schema and some other things. But schema, you're going to want to inject it into the head section of your page. So if you don't know anything about web design, it's really not that important, because this is hard to break. It's hard to break a Squarespace website. That is one of the good things about them, even with their limitations. But you're going to want to just test it and add it here and make sure everything's right when it's all said and done. And you don't need to know anything else about web development other than making sure you get the code right. So I will continue showing you here. Okay, so here is, rather than trying to put copy another form of the script here, the schema script, put it in like a text editor, Notepad, Sublime, Atom, something like that. I'm just going to use a tool, and this tool is great. It's called Merkle, technicalseotools.com. You can go down to the sidebar here, click on Schema Generator, and it will give you multiple options for basic, just plug and play to get you going to generate this code for schema. So we're going to do breadcrumbs, and I've already filled it out. So the parent page for this new Qashqai rugs article is going to be the articles page. So I'm going to title it articles, drop in the URL, then pretty basically just use Qashqai rugs, because that's the title of the article, and I'm going to use the Qashqai rugs URL slug. And one thing I just want to make sure is understood here, because if you do look at Squarespace, they have a weird deal here, and this is important for any website that you're adding schema to, is you want to make sure you're using the correct URL slug. So you always want to make sure, if your site is www. If that's the preferred version, that's what you're using. If you have a SSL certificate, that's included. You want to make sure this is correct. It's not wrong. You're not using the non-secured version in your schema, because that'll just jack everything up. And the other thing I want to show you is you do also want to be careful, and Squarespace is a little bit weird about this, but there is a trailing slash issue with Squarespace. So if you do this, you add a trailing slash to this article, it will actually come up as a redirect. Or it looks like they may have fixed it. Or is it pulling from my cache? I do apologize. This is a training video. I'm not trying to get a million views. I'm just trying to help other people figure this out if you're new to SEO. So that is weird. So that's another reason to be even more diligent about this, is because you don't have a 301 redirect if you have a trailing slash and non-trailing slash. So Google is basically treating these as two different pages, except for the fact here, if we look at the canonical tag, it is saying that the non-trailing slash is the preferred version. So for Squarespace, you're always going to want to use the preferred version in your schema. Otherwise, it'll cause some issues, or it has the potential to cause some issues, because you're telling the search engines, and they're running around with canonicals and 301s and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, back to the actual script. Gonna copy and paste this. I'm just gonna throw it in the top. If you have no schema on any of your pages, and this is again a page specific task, this should be blank. There's usually not much that people are going to throw in the header of an individual page on a Squarespace website. So here it is, and we are going to save that. So then the next thing I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to make sure I'm testing the preferred version again. And this tool is going to go away at some point, and I'll run through both of them. But while it's still alive, the Google Structured Data Testing tool, I love this thing. I'm going to cry when it's gone because I don't like the other one nearly as much. But we can come in here, we can plug in our web page, and now we can see that the breadcrumb list that I added is showing up, and there are no errors. So that is a good thing. It should work properly. And you can see the other types of schema I've added. Again, Squarespace automatically adds organization data, and this local business data there's message boards about this. I wish they would get rid of that. None of us can control what goes on there. And the second tool for testing your structured data is going to be the rich results test. And we're just going to test this real quick. And we'll see what comes up. It should be good. Hopefully this doesn't take too long. Again, this is a training video, so not all markup is eligible for rich results. This could be something else going on here. So you can see the breadcrumbs are fine. Everything works. It's got the great green check mark. The issue here is, go figure, the local business markup, which is something that Squarespace automatically adds. If you are using Squarespace, please go spam customer support so that they get rid of this. And the very last thing you're going to want to do for each one of these pages after you add them is go into your search console. If you don't have this set up, if you're brand new to SEO, you definitely want to go in, add search console. It's going to give you a ton of data, but we're going to want to go through and just fetch and render the page that we just added the markup to, and we're just going to request indexing. And hopefully this doesn't take too much longer. But after that, you should be good to go as far as for that page. You're likely going to want to go through and do this on every page on your website, obviously, except your home page. That will not need any, it doesn't need breadcrumbs. And once Google crawls the site and they get the pages indexed, you will see an enhancement tab come up down here. It could take a couple days, but you should be able to go in here and find all the valid URLs that and just browse through all of them to make sure to see all the pages that you have marked up with breadcrumbs in this case. And that'll let you know if this will let you know if Google's finding any errors. You would have seen a red warning sign. And you can also cross-reference pages that you've added it to and just make sure they're in here. And thanks for bearing with me. Hopefully somebody finds this helpful. Thanks again, and take care, guys. Bye.